That letter where you told me never to talk to you again. You're so stubborn about it.
I was upset. I mean, that day was going to be the day when I told you how I felt, and you just dismissed me.
Young Jennifer is bustling around her house with excitement, getting ready to whip up some Christmas goodies for her best friend Gabrielle, who is on her way to help decorate the tree. Jennifer tries to reach out with a phone call, but Gabrielle is busy with Vinny. Tensions rise as they start to argue, and in a moment of frustration, Jennifer said that she never wants to see Gabby again.
It's not stupid. You act like we're dating. And just to make it clear, we're not. So get a life.
Don't ever call me again, Gabby. I mean it. Our friendship is over.
Jenny's feeling incredibly down because she has secretly fallen for her best friend Gabrielle. The fact that Gabby is in a relationship with Vinny only deepens Jennifer's jealousy and pain. As Gabrielle engages in a passionate encounter with irresponsible Vincent, Jennifer takes to pen and paper, crafting a scathing letter filled with her emotions and fury over Gabrielle's absence. She feels particularly hurt knowing how challenging the Christmas season has become for her since the loss of her mother.
Is he there with you?
Vinny doesn't study. My mom died that you'd be there for me no matter what.
20 years later, Jennifer has switched from her job in finance to become a veterinary assistant. After a really tough day at work, she saw a dog pass away. Without its owners there, she heads home to her fiancé David. David's parents are visiting for dinner, and his mom Allison shares the plans she has set up for their wedding that's coming soon. Allison informs Jennifer that they have scheduled the wedding for Christmas Eve. Jennifer feels upset about having a wedding on Christmas. However, Allison, not realizing how Jennifer feels, is determined to plan a big fancy wedding, even though Jennifer is trying to express that this is the last thing she desires. Jennifer, shocked by how her future husband isn't supporting her, gets off from the dinner table and decides to go for a run.
Jennifer, come on.
Why is it that every time your mother comes around, you just sit and behave like a little boy?
She notices a man on a bike getting struck by a car, so she quickly runs over to assist him. The cyclist keeps saying he's fine, even though Jennifer is trying to gather information about what happened. Meanwhile, the driver of the car speeds away. The cyclist, named Azrael, looks totally unfazed by everything happening around him. Jennifer is determined to walk alongside with him for a while to check if he might have a concussion. Jennifer confides in him about the struggles she faces during the Christmas season. It has become particularly difficult for her since she had a falling out with her best friend during this time. Her father passed away around the holidays, and her mother had died many years before. Azrael explains to her that love is everywhere, and when she wakes up the next morning, she should keep an eye for it.
You shouldn't underestimate the power of love around Christmas. It's magical. You need to look around you.
Jennifer comes back home and falls asleep next to David. The next morning, she wakes up to a dog licking her face and realizes she is in a relationship with Gabrielle. Gabrielle tells Jennifer that she has to take the dog for a walk. Jennifer, feeling a bit confused, grabs the dog and heads out.
You're still in bed? Jenny. Gabby?
While she's walking, she runs into Azrael. She asks him what's happening and where he wants him to take her back to her old apartment. Azrael agrees and brings her back, but when they arrive, David doesn't recognize her because he has his own family and kids now. Azrael explains to her that he is her guardian angel and that she has entered a different world where she is set to marry her first true love, Gabrielle. He informs her that she has 2 days to figure everything out. Jennifer then decides to go to her old house, where she discovers that her father is still alive. She makes her way to the church to meet Gabby, feeling the weight of her tardiness. They were supposed to have a meeting with Father Kelly, but fortunately he has been patient and waited for them. During the meeting, Gabrielle expresses her deep concern about not being allowed to marry in the church that has been a significant part of their lives, where she has led the choir for so long. Her desire is clear. She wants to have her wedding officiated by him right there in that church. Way back, the two women bumped into Vinny. He's still the same, and Jennifer gives him a punch for being rude to Gabrielle. Once they're in the car, Jennifer is all hyped about stuff that Gabrielle finds totally normal, like seeing her dad. Gabrielle just shrugs and says she sees him every day. They go over to Jennifer's dad's place for dinner. Jennifer asks him if he'd be happier if she tied the knot with a wealthy guy. He replies that Gabrielle is a great match for her and they always have a good time together. Jennifer later brings up the letter she sent to Gabrielle, asking if she remembers it. She shares how much it hurt her when Gabrielle chose Vincent instead of her. In response, Gabrielle opens up about feeling rejected, not just by Jennifer but also by her own family when she came out as gay. Gabrielle hands Jennifer a letter she wrote 2 years ago. The letter is really harsh and honest. Gabrielle mentions that at least she was being real in the letter. They both head to bed. The next morning, after taking the dog for a walk, Jennifer decides to go to church. Gabrielle had left her a note reminding her not to wear leather pants. In a church that's almost full, Father Kelly gives a sermon about how homosexual people are treated badly in religion. Some people in the congregation who don't like his open-minded views get up and left. Breaking from tradition, the father holds a first communion for same-sex couples. He leads a surprise wedding ceremony for Gabrielle and Jennifer, but it's not really a surprise because Gabrielle had secretly planned everything with Father Kelly and Jennifer's dad. After the ceremony, the newlyweds go to their reception. At the reception, Jennifer sees Azrael. He informs her that her time is almost at the end and reveals that he's not just her guardian angel, but also the stillborn son of Gabrielle. That night marks the conclusion of her life in this reality. As the reception wraps up, Jennifer snuggles up with Gabrielle and they drift off to sleep contentedly. She awakens to the gentle kiss of David. David expresses his regret for not defending her against his mother. In response, Jennifer chose to show David her boots by taking him to her childhood home, highlighting her working-class upbringing. They visit the local church and delve into Gabrielle's history. They uncover the painful truth that Gabrielle became pregnant and was rejected by her family. Tragically, the baby was stillborn and she took her own life shortly after the birth. Jennifer inquires about Father Kelly and learns that he was dismissed from the church for performing same-sex marriages. As they exit the church, Jennifer sees Azrael. She asks David to hold on for a moment and approaches Azrael to have a conversation. Azrael says he can give her one last wish. He can send her back to any moment she wants, but she won't see him again after that. Jennifer chose to go back to the day she wrote the letter. This time she acts differently during the phone call, and Gabrielle doesn't end up with Vincent. Instead, she chose to stay loyal to Jennifer. A young Jennifer confesses her love, and the two girls share a kiss. They work together to decorate the Christmas tree, and Jennifer shares her vision of what their future holds.
Want more queer content? Then please subscribe and hit the notification bell.